Is this the secret to great home Wi-Fi and keeping your children safe online? Let's find out. Dave Taylor here, and this time we're talking Wi-Fi. Specifically, we're talking home Wi-Fi networks. This is one of two identical looking units that comes with the Amped Ally Plus. And this is a pretty slick solution for your home Wi-Fi. It is a mesh network, although technically mesh networks need 3 or more units. Still, 2 units, they seamlessly work together, which means that you don't see 2 different Wi-Fi spots. You see 1 spot, and your system will automatically pick the stronger signal. The idea is that you have one plugged directly into your cable modem, whatever it is that gives you internet, and then the second one you put at like sort of 2/3 of the way to the dead spot in your house, and it amplifies all that signal, and then you get between the two of them up to 15,000 square feet of space covered. Now, if you have a home with more than 15,000 square feet, congratulations, you've got a lot of dusting and vacuuming to do. Seriously, that's a pretty darn large space. Certainly for my house, when I have 3 stories and a backyard, between the two of them, it covers it really well. I never have any issues with signal, and it's super easy to work with because you just plug the extender into the wall and walk away, and it does everything itself. It finds the base unit, they pair up, everything works very seamlessly. It takes a minute or 2, but it's just very nice. And this, in fact, what I'm holding, this is the extender unit, but both are exactly the same size. The only difference is the set of ports on the back. As you can see, the ports on the base unit include a bunch of Ethernet jacks so you can plug in other devices, whereas on the extender unit, there's really not much going on. It's just a couple of fundamental buttons, and you can plug in one device if you're so inclined, and otherwise you're good to go. So that's pretty easy. And what I really like about this, where this really shines, is it really shines in protecting your home. So there are 2 features it has that does that, but I want to get back to those in a second. Let's just be really super geeky for a second. So this offers you 2.4 gigahertz at 600 megabits per second and a 5 gigahertz at 1300 megabits per second. It's MU-MIMO technology, which means it offers 802.11 AVG and AC, the latest version, and the units have 4 antennas. You don't see any antennas. It's sort of this modern antenna design where everything's embedded, which is pretty nice actually. It's much more attractive. So there are 3 dual band high gain antennas and 1 single band high gain, and that's the difference between the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz. Where it's really much more amazing is these little devices have a bunch of amplifiers too. So they're in this unit, it has 14 amplifiers. It has 4 2.4 gigahertz internal amps, 4 low noise amps, 3 5 gigahertz internal amps, and 3 low noise amps. So there's a lot going on in this little package, and of course there's also a lot going on in the core base unit. And together they add up to being a pretty darn seamless Wi-Fi network, even in a complicated structure, or even if you want to have a backyard and good Wi-Fi on the far side of your pool. Wish I had that problem, but hopefully you do. Now, the 2 things that make the Amped Ally really cool are that it has really great parental controls and that it's just super easy to work with. So let me show you on the parental control side. It's like many of these modern Wi-Fi based systems and everything. It comes with an app. And so the app, let me put this down, you can get Android or iPhone. And so on this first screen, you can see it's pretty darn straightforward to set up, and you can see all the devices that I have hooked up. And if I go to users, I can go in and I can go to Junior, because I like to keep an eye on what my daughter's doing. And more importantly, I like to make sure that her internet is off in the middle of the night. So if she gets up at 2 in the morning and wants to play on her phone, it's just not going to work. The Wi-Fi system doesn't give her an error message, it just doesn't work. So she'll be laying there complaining, God, the internet's out. Whereas if I wanted to be up at 2 in the morning, hey, I'm the parent, I get to do this. But if I want to be up at 2 in the morning, I can do that perfectly well. Now notice it also tracks what websites. You can set up certain off-limits websites, and it'll actually report if your child goes to those sites. They won't get there, but it'll report that they tried. You can have multiple devices per person. All of that, really nice. I think that that's really important for your kids to stay safe, because let's be honest, most preteens and teens are pretty clueless when it comes to online safety. So all of that's great, and you can see on this screen how easy it is to do things like change your Wi-Fi network, or change the password, or even turn on guest access. All of these things on a traditional Wi-Fi unit, where you have to go and get hooked up and have it on your computer and all this sort of stuff, they can be a real pain. Whereas in this, once you get into the app, super easy. Now, one more thing I want to say about the Amped Ally is that it also comes with built-in AVG antivirus. And so they have a cloud-based blacklist. And what that means is that it'll automatically protect you if you are visiting a site and suddenly it pops up a window from a known malware site. This will block that. And that by itself might be worth its weight in gold if you're the kind of person, or you have someone in your family who's the kind of person who likes to explore the rougher edges of the internet. So the AVG antivirus included, it automatically keeps itself up to date because it's cloud-based. It's not actually on one of the units. So super easy and straightforward. Now, the performance. My experience is the performance has been terrific. Every so often I find that the app has a problem connecting, and then I just have to wait a couple of seconds, and then it goes and sees all the devices and everything. I think that's just a handshake issue, but it's certainly nothing that mars the experience. And from the device perspective, man, my devices just zip right along. I've streamed Netflix, I can do Amazon Prime Video, all those sort of high demand applications seem to work just fine. I've uploaded YouTube videos, and this device has been perfectly fine, even off of the extender rather than off of the base unit. Now, in terms of performance, if you are running off of the extender because you're further away from your base, there's approximately a 15% performance hit from everything that I've read from different people testing it. I haven't really experienced that myself, but I don't really go all the way to 10 on my internet use for the most part. So you should probably know that, but I don't think you'll have an issue with that. So the only other thing to talk about is the price. But before we get there, can I please ask, click on the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Appreciate that. Thank you. Now, if you just need the router and you don't need this guy, the extender, the router itself with AVG, with all these terrific parental controls and everything, that unit by itself is $158.94. If you want to get the unit plus the extender, which gives you that 15,000 square foot coverage, and I would certainly recommend it. Why would you not want great Wi-Fi throughout your house? If you get the one with the extender, it bumps the price up to $259.50. So either way, it's entirely within the normal range of what's a good, reasonably priced Wi-Fi base station. And I really like the ease of parental controls, and I really like the AVG antivirus built into this. And frankly, I like its form factor. It's small, it's thin, it's very well designed. So this is Dave Taylor. We're looking at the Amped Ally Plus Wi-Fi base station and extender, and I'll catch you in my next video.